Welcome to another instalment of Australia Mining's webinar On Demand series. We're again bringing you insights and expertise from the biggest leaders in mining to share their thoughts on how to survive and thrive in an industry known for its volatile environment. I'm Jack Wild, and today we're at Schneider Electric, one of Australia's key thought leaders in the mining industry, helping businesses transform into what they call tomorrow's mine. Let's go and see what we can find out. Over the next few years, the mining industry will need to undergo changes to stay in line with global trends. How will the mining industry need to adapt to these trends?
They'll need to transform their organisation towards efficiency in four key transformation dimensions. Production, integrating their production value chain for efficiency. Assets, asset optimisation to really drive the utilisation of the existing fixed and mobile infrastructure that they have in place. Platforms. Companies need to think about transforming their organisation and standardising the platforms and technologies they use across the board. And really the fourth and one of the key transformation dimensions is in the people sphere. How do we optimise the allocation of our human assets and get them to work as effectively as possible to drive towards efficiency?
Operational efficiency helps us to become best in class. In mining, instruments, measurements are now have the ability to go on the web. That's a good thing and a bad thing. The challenge is we have a lot of information coming. Mining operations have, probably not as mature as, say, petrochemical from the point of view of how much instrumentation they have, how many measurements they take. However, there is a lot of information being measured. How do you consolidate that information to help you drive your business? Secondly, how do you protect that information? Because one of the key issues, and we see this all the time around cybersecurity, people hacking and so on and so forth, the further you go down to those instruments, the more important it becomes to secure that information. So that's a major challenge, and that's what we call the IT-OT interface. In other words, the operational part with the corporate IT, and they're becoming very blurred. And so how do you manage that? Big challenge there. And also the reason why the Internet of Things is important is because we're taking data, moving data to information, and then information moving to knowledge, and then finally wisdom. And what I mean by wisdom is it helps to drive the business objectives. We should treat information as a resource and help you to drive your business.
What are some of the issues driving the need for greater operational efficiency?
Most mining companies are still operating in ways that they did 10, 15, 20 years ago. Mining organisations are essentially supply chain organisations predominantly, yet departmentally and structurally, mining organisations still have a heavily siloed focus. So really integrating the organisation and integrating the operations in terms of the supply chain context is one of the key issues that still hasn't been broached. A mining operation from the pit as it flows down into a processing plant environment generally has a disconnect in terms of the KPIs and the behaviours that are rewarded for the management of those assets and those silos. So breaking those barriers down of KPI misalignment, working towards the same objectives are some of the key areas where we can improve. Of course, the technology that supports that is now coming to the fore. Previously, mining companies would source niche capability from a range of different technology providers to help them drive their business. But organisations are now able to service the whole of the operations technology landscape for these companies from a single entity. The move from throughput at all costs to efficiency and how do we optimise to meet a fluctuating market demand is really driving the behaviour of these mining companies.
How can Schneider Electric help the mining industry innovate and implement to meet these challenges head on?
The traditional vendor-client approach of procuring a capability that is expected to be purely commercial off the shelf and fit for purpose for a mining organisation is changing towards more of an industry collaborative approach that doesn't just include the traditional client vendor but also includes research type institutions. So those three components of client vendor, research bodies, even industry and government coming together in truly collaborative approaches to solve the challenges in innovative ways, we see as the most successful model moving forward. The current market dynamics really mean that mining organisations are trying to optimise their existing investments. Existing investments in terms of hardware, software, technology and assets they've invested significantly in. So integration and interoperability are really key capabilities that that need to be provided to optimise and improve efficiency in these organisations. Schneider drives a lot of the global standards and protocols of how equipment talks to each other, hardware, software. We provide open standard interfaces to our technology so that organisations can take advantage of the value add that we would bring into their business without the legacy investment needing to be replaced. So the information, where it comes from, what device it's generated from, it doesn't matter. It's the ability to add value to the existing assets and interoperate with those existing assets in ways that are value add, driving towards an efficiency focus. So big data analytics, predictive optimization, integrated supply chain management, bringing together and breaking down the silos that exist in these organizations and operations, and providing the information in a way that can be digested by all people in the organization to achieve the outcome that these operations are looking for.
So I believe that Schneider Electric sees itself more as a partner than a supplier. Can you give an example of that?
Sure. We partner with all of our organisations across the board. Mining in particular, we have a huge presence in Australia, and we want to become a partner with these organisations as early on in the asset life cycle as possible. We're really a trusted advisor that can begin that partnership well before capital investment, assisting with modelling, enterprise simulation and planning activities to determine what the asset even needs to look like. We do that with consulting and advisory services. We bring to the table previous experience in similar domains. We bring technology and solutions to the table that can help enable that effective planning of what is often a very significant investment in this situation. So we want to partner early. We've got the capability to do that. We have the capability then to partner with these organisations all the way through the asset life cycle to the point of disposal. And over the life cycle of a mining asset, which is generally 5 to 50 years, organisations will transform, and we want to be the partner that is able to help the organisations transform as market dynamics change and as innovation drives productivity improvement.
Schneider Electric are invested in tomorrow's mine. What are the key elements of that?
Look, tomorrow's mine is really about the 4 key dimensions discussed earlier. Production optimization, asset optimization, platform utilization and standardization in these businesses, and the facilitation of best practice of the people effectively and safely in these organizations and operations themselves.
Well, that's all for now. Thanks to Javier, James and everyone at Schneider Electric for giving us such a great perspective on how technology can be applied to address the challenges and emerge as a winner in a competitive environment. To find out how Schneider Electric can help your business, visit them at schneiderelectric.com.au or call a representative at 1300 369 233. And for Australia Mining's Webinar On Demand series, I'm Jack Wild. See you next time.